Hello everybody and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to talk to you about EQS notation and basic standards in specifying models in EQS. So I start with EQS notation. With respect to EQS notation, there are 4 points that you need to consider when it comes to specifying models. The first point is that VI is used to name the observed variables in the data set. The second point is that FI is used to name the factors that are added to the model. The third one is that EI is used to name the error terms of the dependent observed variables in your model. And finally, DI is used to name the disturbance terms of the dependent factors in your model. Also note that variables are named based on their position in the data set. So in this particular example, gender will be V1, age will be V2, marital status will be V3, nationality will be V4, and employment type will be V5. The other point that is important to be highlighted here is that for simplicity, all E's and D's are numbered to correspond with the V's and F's with which they are associated respectively. This means that for V12 we will have E12, for V13 we have E13, for V14 we have E14, for V9 we have E9, for V10 we have E10, and for V11 we have E11 as the error term. Also, with respect to F2 as the dependent factor in this model, we will have D2 as the disturbance term. Another point that is important here is related to parameter estimation. Basically, all of the parameters that are estimated in this model are represented by asterisks, and all of the parameters that have been fixed to a certain value, which in this example is the value of 1, are displayed in red color. Therefore, in this example, the variances of all of these error terms, the variance of this disturbance term, and also the variance of this factor will be estimated. Also, these factor loadings, as well as these regression coefficient between factor F1 and F2 will be estimated as well. So all of the free parameters to be estimated and all of the fixed parameters can be seen in this model. Now let's have a look at a few other examples to see how models can be specified based on EQS notation. Okay, this is our first example, which is a one-factor CFA model. Here we have 4 factor loadings, 5 error variances, and also 1 factor variance as free parameters to be estimated, and also all the other parameters have been fixed to 1. Now to specify the models in EQS, we use 3 keywords, which are /equations, /variances, and /covariances. Also note that for each dependent variable, there will be one equation under equations section. So for example, for V7, we have this equation. V7 is equal to F1 plus E7. So V7 is equal to 1 times F1 plus 1 times E7. For V8, we have V8 is equal to asterisk times F1 plus 1 times E8. This is exactly the thing that you can see here. For V9, we have asterisk times F1 plus 1 times E9. For V10, we have asterisk times F1 plus 1 time E10. And for V11, we have asterisk times F1 plus 1 times E11. So again, I remind you that asterisk here means that the parameter will be estimated, and these ones indicate the fact that all of these regression coefficients have been fixed to 1. Okay, with respect to the variances, as you can see, all of the variances in this model, including the variances of the error terms as well as the variance of the factor, are free parameters to be estimated. That's why you can see that in front of each of them there is one asterisk, which means that all of them will be estimated in this model. And note that you can also summarize these variances into these 2 formats. For example, for E7 to E11 because all of them are in a sequence and they will be estimated. So you can use E7 to E11 is equal to asterisk, or E7-E11 is equal to asterisk. Obviously, we don't have any covariances in this model. That's why you cannot see any covariances specified here under covariances section. Okay, now let's have a look at the other example. Here we have a two-factor CFA model. Basically, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dependent variables in this model. That's why you could see 11 equations displayed under equation section. We also have 11 error variances, 2 factor variances. So in total, we will have 13 variances displayed here, and all of them are also to be estimated as indicated by the asterisks in front of them. Also, we have one covariance between factor F1 and factor F2. So this covariance has also been specified or displayed under covariances section. So again, I would like to remind you that asterisk here means that the parameter will be estimated, and all of the passes in red color are the passes that have been fixed to 1. Also note that the dependent variables by default are displayed in yellow and the exogenous constructs are displayed in gray. Okay, now let's have a look at another example. Well, this example is a simple regression model. Here we have one factor F2 which is causing factor F1. So for F1 we have this disturbance term which is D1. Also note that for F1 we have 5 indicators, and these are the error terms for these indicators. Here also we have 6 items for F2, and these are the error terms for these indicators. All right, if you look at the equations, you will see that basically we have 12 equations. It is because we have 11 observed dependent variables and also one dependent factor in this model. So for each of these yellow variables, we will have one equation under the equations section. Now let's have a look at the equation that has been written for this factor F1. So as you can see here, F1 is equal to asterisk times F2 plus 1 times D1. This is the equation that you can see here. As another example, let's have a look at V12. For V12, we have 1 times F2 plus 1 times E12. For V11, we have asterisk times F1 plus 1 times E11. Also note that again we don't have any covariances to be added here under the covariances section, and all of the error variances, these 11 error variances, as well as the variance of F2 have been displayed here. There is one more variance here, which is the variance of this disturbance term, and again you can see that the variance of this disturbance term has been added under the variances section. Okay, so one important point is that basically you really don't need to write the equations manually because the software can generate all of these equations for you. There are basically different approaches to specify models in EQS, and one of them is the manual approach. So if you want to do the manual approach, you will be able to write the equations, variances, and covariances yourself. In case that you prefer to use other approaches in specifying and estimating models, then EQS will generate all of these equations for you, and basically you really don't need to write them yourself. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to introduce different approaches that you can select to specify and evaluate your models in EQS. Thank you very much for watching.